Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to today's webinar on Oregon State University's Natural Resources Leadership Academy. I'm glad that you guys chose to join us today, and we have two presenters here to share some more information with you about this year's Academy. We have Rini Powell, the Assistant Director for OSU Summer Session, with us, as well as Erin Wolf, the Natural Resources Leadership Academy Academic Director. So welcome, Rini and Erin.
Thank you.
We're excited to let you know a little bit more about this year's Academy, and we also have plenty of time for questions at the end. So please, if you have questions during the presentation, you can put them in the chat box. We'll address them at the end of the session. Additionally, in the chat box, I have added the link to the text captioning service. If you need to access that, it's in the chat box. You can click on that link there. So today's agenda includes a little bit about Oregon State to start off with, and then we'll dig into share a little bit about the Academy. We'll talk through the logistics, give you an overview of the tracks for this year's Academy, and we'll give you all the information you need to know about registration and pricing. And as I mentioned, we'll take questions from you at the end. We do anticipate having plenty of time for questions. If there's something that comes up that's a specific thing that we need to get back to you on, we will be able to capture that, and we can respond to any of those specific questions afterwards as well if needed. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started, and I'm going to hand it off to Rini to share a little bit about Oregon State University.
Thank you, Rebecca. Oregon State is located in Corvallis, Oregon, which is about 90 miles south of Portland and about an hour west from the Cascades or the Pacific Coast. It's the world leader in natural resources, conservation biology, fisheries and wildlife science, ecological engineering, and agricultural sciences. We are a leading research university located, as I mentioned, in Corvallis. Corvallis has about 55,000 residents and in the neighborhood of 25,000 students during the main part of the year. So it's a pretty busy town around here with lots of great things to do, and certainly a wonderful environment throughout the local area to enjoy. We are in the heart of Western Oregon's Willamette Valley and one of the safest, smartest, greenest small cities in the nation. We are actually only one of 2 universities in the U.S. to have a land, sea, space, and sun grant designation, with Cornell University being the other institution. And some of the things that you can expect to be able to enjoy in the local area include things like wineries, hiking, biking. Of course, as I mentioned, we're about an hour and a half from Portland, and so there's a lot of great opportunities there for entertainment, as well as Bend, Oregon, towards the center of the state, which is known as the High Desert.
So Natural Resources Leadership Academy is now in its 5th year. And the idea was that, as Rainey said, OSU is a magnet for resources, research, training, and a lot of the folks here are what we call pracademics. They have one foot in the academy, kind of studying things from above, if you will, and one foot actually doing the work on the ground. And so we found that there's a group of people who actually would benefit from getting together to work together in very intensive periods of study and research, and the types of students who come to the academy are, one, there's grad students who are in the natural resources and who are either on a technical track or on a policy track and need to learn something very intensively about the other side. The others are people, a lot of folks working in institutions, in state institutions, national institutions, and international institutions who've gotten to a certain level of expertise, again, either on the technical side or on the policy side, and really need the other side in order to get to the next level. And the other group, which is interesting, is OSU has a world-class eCampus distance education student body, and a lot of them like to come for these very intensive periods to get together and learn about the campus here. And what's really exciting about these 2 weeks is that all these groups of people are in these tracks separately, learning something very intensive about resource management or about conflict resolution or about dealing with resilience, but also we're working together. We have breaks together, we have lunch together, we have field trip together, and so we're able not just to learn a lot about the specific track we're enrolled in, but also learn from each other what they're doing in their work and in their disciplines.
So as Aaron was saying, that NRLA brings together a great breadth of folks, and in essence, we put a unique twist on that standard college-based learning environment in such a way that we allow the graduate student, which is often here looking for credit, and the working professional wanting to participate at non-credit, giving them the opportunity to learn side by side, to share and network on the natural resource topics with individuals from around the globe. At the same time, being able to integrate the leadership components and emphasizing the collaboration that each can contribute to each other across all the disciplines and throughout. So participants have the option of registering for 1 week or both, so week 1, week 2, or both. You select one track within the week or each of the weeks that you're participating, and of course you choose whether you're going to participate for credit or non-credit. And I know this might seem a little bit odd for some of our grad students listening, but by filtering everyone through the NRLA registration process, this helps us support the integration of this program and then properly direct each of the participants through the necessary steps in order for them to be able to finalize their credit or non-credit choice. So as we look at some of the logistics for the week, I want to encourage you to be sure and check out the NRLA website, one page in particular titled Schedule, and that will help provide you the additional details about each of the week's anticipated schedule. But I want to highlight some of the important components here. In week 1, which is our most integrated week, on Sunday, we'll start off with a leadership session that will allow everyone participating, not just the individuals attending, but also the staff and the faculty, to participate in a 3-hour leadership workshop. And that will be followed up for immediately behind with a welcome reception from 6 to 7:30. And then of course Monday and Tuesday will be the standard classroom type schedule. And then Wednesday afternoon, we're all going to pile in vans and take off for an overnight field trip to Central Oregon. In week 2, it's a little less integrated. You have more of a atypical Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 schedule, with the exception of the environmental water transactions track. They will be going on a day-long field trip to Central Oregon. So I encourage you to take a good close look at the different tracks that are available for each of those 2 weeks in order to help determine your choice whether to participate for just week 1, week 2, or both. Additionally, on the website, there's another tab called, or webpage called Attendees. And under that category, you will find a plethora of information such as the attire to expect to wear, the links to weather conditions, and as well as lodging. For those of you that want to get the full meal deal and have the opportunity to experience college life, you are welcome to stay in one of our residence halls. It's the ILLC building. Or of course, there's a variety of off-campus locations, hotels and motels in the local area that you can take advantage of as well. There's also information about driving directions, how to get to Corvallis. If you're flying into Portland, which is PDX, or into Eugene, EUG, there's shuttle services available from both of those airports to get you directly here to Corvallis. And of course, being a college campus, we do have parking guidelines that are necessary for you to follow, so be sure to take a look at the details about parking and of course our local attractions.
Let's talk a little bit about the tracks. As we said, there are 5 different tracks over the 2 weeks, and students can sign up for one of the 3 tracks in week 1 and or one of the 2 tracks in week 2. The tracks in week 1, Brian Tilt is an anthropology here. He does a track in natural resources and community values. Bruce Weber in poli-sci on collaborative governance. So there's the idea that working with stakeholders, how do you design a process, how do you get folks talking about how to manage the resources. And then I get to work with Lynette De Silva. We do a course together, a track together in water conflict management. It's an intensive week, a lot of interaction, a lot of role plays, a lot of case studies. And I think that's one of the advantages of this kind of a learning environment, is that we really do get to spend more time, be more intensive, more thoughtful, using film, using interactions. And the same in week 2, 2 world-class facilitators and trainers. Bruce Elward will be doing environmental water transactions. How do you figure out a market to keep water in the stream? And another topical issue is John Matthews will be teaching resilient and robust resource management. And the idea there, if we go and take a look at who these folks are who will be doing the training, again, it's a world-class set of instructors. And so both Lynette De Silva and I have been working in the field of water conflict management for a number of years. We co-direct a program here where we do facilitations and training in the topic. Ed Weber is in political science. And again, all these folks are what we call pracademics, out there doing the work, and he's done a lot of study in Central Oregon. So he'll be helping to lead our field trip out there on Thursday, looking at how community stakeholders came together to help protect in a sustainable way a small micro watershed out there. Brian Tilt, he's worked all over the world, working in southern China, working throughout the United States, looking, as I said, from an anthropological perspective, how do you manage collaboratively our natural resources. And John Matthews is new this year, and we're really excited. He and a world-class team, he runs something called AGUA, which is the Alliance for Global Water Adaptation. And this is the idea that in this era of climate change, one of the things we have to learn to do is to adapt to it. How do we adapt our institutions? How do we adapt our infrastructure? Again, he's been doing this all over the world, and he's tapping a team, including Diego Rodriguez from the World Bank, Mate Eriksson from the Stockholm International Water Institute, and Guillermo Mendoza from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. So all of them will be helping. And again, Bruce Elward is a affiliate faculty here, but he's he's got a firm that actually does this, helping basins around the country, actually around the world, trying to figure out what tools are to make sure that resources can be managed sustainably, and figuring out a mechanism by which the ecosystem can have some of the water as well. We're really looking forward to working together with all these folks. And again, when we're together in breaks, we're together in lunches, we're together on the field trips, you get the chance to connect not only with your own instructor, but any of these folks that are going to be along with us. And the field trip, well, in the last couple of years, we've gone to Whiteshoes Creek, which is in Central Oregon. Absolutely amazing case study where ranchers and irrigators and environmentalists and the tribes and the city of Bend have all gotten together and figure out a way to help keep water in the stream, not just for its own sake, but they've actually figured out a way that it's in everybody's benefit to manage the water collaboratively. That's a terrific case study for all of our different tracks to be able to take a look at the mechanism, and we'll get a chance to talk to a number of stakeholders there and the politicians who dealt with the very difficult politics in the beginning of the process. And we're looking forward to going back. Every year we get to see it from a different angle.
And I might encourage those folks that are on the line to be sure and check out the website address that's right there below the picture. There's a great article that's available that gives you some more information about the Whychus Creek project, and as well on our NRLA website. If you go to the field trip page, we have a link to an additional OPB 8-minute video that would give you some, glean some perspective on how this project looked in its early stages as they were just getting started to develop it to what you see here in this picture of what it is now.
And I included that link in the chat box too, if you're interested in just clicking through and checking that out. It's a really interesting project. We wanted to provide some additional information about that this year.
So we'll touch base here next on some of the general steps for registering for NRLA. I'll cover real quickly the non-credit workshop side, and basically to get the ball rolling, you click on the registration button on the NRLA website, and that technically is kind of submitting a pre-registration for the Academy. If you're participating in week 1, you'll be paying an Academy fee. If you're participating only in week 2, we're only requiring a deposit to get the ball rolling. By doing this, this will provide us with some personal information along with designating whether you're going to attend for credit or non-credit. And of course, you'll select the preferred tracks that you'll want to take in the week or weeks that you're participating. And any outstanding balance that will be due beyond the $75 can be paid either partially or in full between now and June 1st. And then if you, as of June 1st, will need to have the final balance paid in full. Here in a couple of slides, we'll touch base on the pricing for that a little bit more closely. If you are a U.S. citizen and if you are not a U.S. citizen and you're planning to attend, we can provide you with a letter of invitation that you can use to submit with your visa application, but we would ask that you would submit your NRLA registration first before asking us to do that, so that we can ensure that we get the right information included in that document so that your visa will go through. Also be aware that visas take varying amount of time, so the earlier you can start processing that, the better, so that you'll be sure to be able to attend. And of course, moving to the credit registration, pretty much the same sort of thing. So if you're already an OSU graduate student, or maybe recently submitted your graduate application, or you're wanting to just attend for just the Academy and earn credit anyways, but maybe take that credit elsewhere, we'll have you use the credit registration option as your choice for registering. And same sort of thing, if you're going to attend for week 1, there's a $75 Academy fee. If you're attending for just week 2, we ask that you put a $75 deposit down where applicable. And then if you're already an OSU student, we'll provide you with the necessary information to get you through the normal registration process for OSU credit students. If you're not currently an OSU student, we'll still give you the right information to get your non-degree application submitted. And of course, finalize your registration through the OSU online registration system. I do want to let everyone know that we unfortunately do not have any scholarships available for either credit or non-credit. We do get that question quite a bit. We are hoping that eventually we'll be able to offer that, but currently we don't have any of those available. So moving to the pricing. All right, so I've referred to the Academy fee. If you're participating in week 1, that is non-refundable, unless, of course, if we end up having to cancel a track, if we don't have an alternate track available for you, we will certainly refund that. Otherwise, that is a non-refundable fee for participating in week 1. If you're participating in week 2 and you're non-credit, we ask for a $75 deposit. If you are coming in as a credit-bearing student or a student that wants to participate for credit, we are not going to require the $75 deposit. This information is spelled out a bit more in depth on the pricing page within the NRLA website, but just kind of gleaming over the highlights here. If you're participating in week 1 or week 2 as a non-credit participant, the price is $16.95 for the week. If you come for both weeks, of course, it's $33.90. And then, of course, if you're coming for credit, depending on which one of the tracks you're selecting in week 1, because we've got some of them that are worth 3 credits and some that are worth 4, your price, and of course, week 2 is all 3 credits. So prices range between $17.33 to the $36.75, depending on how many total credits you're taking. But again, this information is spelled out a bit more in depth on the pricing page of the NRLA website. So here's a snapshot of the NRLA homepage. Lots of information to read through, but I did want to bring to your attention the little box there on the lower right-hand corner that says Connect. If you want to submit your email address in there, that's a great way for you to stay connected with us for updates about NRLA. So just submit your email in there and click Send. Or, of course, we do have a couple social media sites that you can connect with as well to obtain some information there. Also, be sure to browse through all of the web pages throughout the site. As you notice there across the black banner bar above the main picture, we've got some information about NRLA, details on registration, the schedule, and of course, as I mentioned earlier, the attendees, and a way for you to be able to contact us if you have any other details or any other questions that we haven't been able to answer for you.
Okay, so at this point, we're going to stop and see if there are any questions. If you have a question, you can type it into the chat box, and we will go through and answer those for you. So let's see if we have any questions popping up. While we're waiting for people to get their questions submitted, Rini, I know that you talked to a lot of people and you've been responding to emails and phone calls from folks who are interested. Are there any questions what's one of the more common questions that you've been getting that that might be helpful to people on the phone?
Well, just the concept of NRLA is a little bit hard to sometimes get into perspective, because you think university and you think college and you're thinking credit. So how is it that you can do something for credit or non-credit? Essentially, what we've done is created a means to bring everyone together, and by using the NRLA registration site that allows us to properly direct folks so that they can participate in the manner that's most applicable for their needs. And so I do strongly encourage everyone to take some time to really look at the NRLA website. We've tried really hard to put as much information out there as possible and keep it yet simplistic enough so that it's not overwhelming, so that folks can really gain a better perspective of what NRLA is all about. A lot of our eCampus students enjoy the opportunity to physically come to campus for 1 week, because you're a distant student for a reason. It's because it's not something that works for you to be able to be here on a more consistent basis. So if you can come for 1 or 2 weeks and enjoy the OSU campus, that would be excellent, such that you will be in course in your track for that week. It's very intensive, but all your face-to-face time is going on for the week or 2 weeks that you're here, and then you're going to have 3 to 4 weeks afterwards to go back and finalize whatever assignments that were part of your track, as well as get them submitted. And of course, if you're taking it for credit, obtain your grade, and of course your credits on your transcript. I've had some folks ask if the credits are transferable to other institutions. Absolutely. If you want to come for just as a non-degree student, you can have those credits transferred out to whatever institution you'd like. Now it's going to be up to the receiving institution to make the determination how they would be received, but transferring out is not a problem.
All right, so we seem to be having a little bit of a technical issue with the questions coming through. I apologize for that, but it doesn't look like we've had any questions submitted, or we're not able to see them on this end, and there might just be something with our setup here. and I really apologize for that.
So here's what I recommend.
Yeah. Go ahead, Rini.
I was just going to say, if there's folks on the line that have questions, go to the Contact Us page. Can we bring that up on our NRLA site, maybe?
Yeah. Having a little bit of an issue here with some of our technology, so we'll get this back up for you guys. Sorry about that.
On the NRLA website, we have a Contact Us page, and it provides my email address as well as Laura Collins, who's also our program specialist that will be helping with the program. You can just forward an email to either one of us, or even simply send it to summer.session@oregonstate.edu. Oh, there we go. Perfect. There's my email address. And between myself and Laura, we will get you taken care of to ensure that we can provide you all the answers that you need in order to make an informed decision whether this is something that will work for you. Erin, do you have anything else you want to add?
There we go. I knew if I had you talk for long enough, I would be able to resolve the technology issue. I'm so sorry about that. So we do have a couple questions, and we'll just kind of go through these quickly. So one of the questions is, what type of coursework is required before and or after the class?
That's a great question. So technically, each one of these tracks is the equivalent of a 3-credit course, and so what that means is that in order to meet the requirements of a 3, or in one case 4 credits, you really need more contact time than we have during the week. And so we will be asking people to come prepared. We'll send out about a week in advance. We'll send out some reading, some course material, and then on the back end, we'll ask you to take the training that you've received, go back into your work environment or your academic environment, and try and apply it to a setting, and then send that work back to us. So there will be a little bit of work on the front end and a project on the back end, but all in all, it's well worth it.
One thing I want to add to that too, on the NRLA website, when you look under schedule, there's a week 1 and there's a week 2. Each one, of course, identifies the specific tracks for that week, but within each track, there's also a syllabus attached that you can pull that up and take a look at it to get an idea of what the workload is going to look like, as well as what are the topics of focus for each of those tracks. Now, taking one step back, on week 1, we have the leadership session that happens on Sunday that's 3 hours long. For everyone attending in week 1, we will be sending out a packet of leadership reading materials, as well as a little exercise for you to do ahead of time so that you can bring that information with you to the leadership session. That'll just help build on the learning outcomes that you'll have from that session. It's not mandatory, but it's certainly helpful for you to be able to participate in it so that you get the most out of this program.
Great. It looks like there's another question about if meals are included. Are meals included in the price?
Okay, so week 1 is, as I mentioned, we've talked about here, is very integrated. Week 1 does include quite a bit of meals throughout the week. The way that the schedule rolls is that we provide lunch on Tuesday, and then breakfast and lunch on Thursday as a part of the field trip. And then every day, Monday through Friday, of course, with the exception of Thursday because we're on the field trip, Monday through Wednesday and Friday, we have AM and afternoon breaks, which have snacks and drinks available for everyone to partake in. We do this as a way to help bring folks together and encourage them to have those opportunities to network and chat and share with one another. Week 2 is a little bit more standalone. We don't have that type of schedule for week 2. It's more of almost 2 standalone courses, but we're hoping that in years to come that we'll be able to roll week 2 into a more integrated schedule, much the same as what we did in week 1.
Great. And it's the nice thing about the location for NRLA, I think, too, is the access to food and beverages right there on Monroe Street in Corvallis, where there's coffee shops and restaurants and places that you can go grab a quick bite when you need to do that. So there's a question about where to find information about parking and transportation and lodging as well. What lodging options, and those are all sort of connected together.
Yeah, so for that I would encourage you to go to the attendee webpage. Again, that black banner bar across the home page where it says attendees. If you hover over attendees, you'll see a drop down that has information on parking and transportation. As I mentioned earlier, from the two major airports here to the Corvallis campus and back, we have several shuttle services that can help you with that transportation need. Parking here on campus, the guidelines for doing that, as well as local lodging options. And again, you have the option of staying here on campus and utilizing a dorm and being the true OSU student, or staying in one of the local hotels.
And then it looks like we have a question. This question is, if I attend for non-credit, do I receive any type of certification?
Non-credit, so we can work with that. If there's, I know we've had some folks in the past that have requested continuing education unit certification, and we can certainly work with that on a case-by-case basis. As in the week, everyone will receive a certificate of completion for attending, but outside of that, no, there's no other special certification at this time.
And then the last question we have is connected back to something that you answered earlier, Erin. It said if somebody's doing the non-credit track option, do they still need to do the coursework for the class?
Yeah, my sense is we want everybody to be on the same page in terms of engagement, in terms of preparation. And so whether you're getting credit or not, if we're going to have a rich conversation about a topic and there's reading to do to bring everybody on the same page, everybody's got to do the reading. So at least in my track, and I think I'm speaking for the other instructors as well, that whether you're getting credit or not, it's worth being prepared and worth doing the work and applying the skills.
Great. Thanks for those excellent questions. And again, if you have additional questions or something comes up later that you need help with, we have the contact information up for Rini and Erin, as well as the website address. So please don't hesitate to reach out. And thank you again for attending. Have a great afternoon.